Hey everyone, it's Sam here, and I have a quick update. I am moving to New York and I am joining the Notion team full time. Here's why that feels like the culmination of about 5 years of creating content, give or take. About 5 years ago, I posted my first public YouTube video. To be clear, I had posted videos before, but they were always unlisted or private. Shout out my Arizona State University 2019 speech and debate vlog in particular, and to the 10 friends or so that I sent that to. I hope you enjoyed. With the encouragement of my parents and sister, I decided to try something with this channel. Did I think about the YouTube channel going viral? Of course, yes. Did it happen? No, it did not. I think my last video got like 22 views. Did I think about eventually monetizing my content? Also, of course. Did it happen? Actually, yeah, and I'm really grateful for that. But back then, I was just an almost 20 something getting ready to navigate the world of COVID, school, and work. And over time, as content does, my YouTube channel evolved. It went from vlogs to how to's to this being an amplifier for my current podcast on how to help young professionals do more with less. Speaking of the podcast, Mindful Notions, I still don't know exactly what compelled me to start a podcast 3 years ago. It was originally called College Conscience, now part of the Mindful Notions brand. Maybe it was just an intuitive desire to have more meaningful and nuanced conversations with friends besides what classes are you taking or where do you want to work. But I don't think I would have started my podcast if I hadn't started my YouTube channel. I definitely don't think I would have gotten a full time podcast producing role if I hadn't already had my podcast. So there's a chain of logic here. One of the through lines across all the different content streams and roles has been my use of Notion, which is a productivity tool. Let's be clear, there are several great productivity tools readily available on the App Store. But I don't think it's an accident that out of all of those productivity tools, only one has really stuck while I do creative work that I love. Actually, it's probably the farthest thing from an accident. What drew me to Notion was that it could be as simple or as complex as you wanted it to be. If I wanted to spend the rest of my life making simple pages with the most sophisticated feature being a tastefully placed toggle every 3 blocks, that'd be perfectly fine. But for me, I really enjoyed using Notion both for my creative work and then learning the slightly more technical aspects of software. To be clear, I don't code. I have a very limited understanding of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Shout out to CodePath for that. But I do have a better understanding of things like APIs, MCPs, and things like relational databases because of Notion. Beyond the technical, I've also kept better track of the developments of AI. Maybe you're also keeping up with that specific topic via my podcasts, whether that's Cities Decoded, speaking with AI professionals in both DC and New York, or on Mindful Notions with our latest series, Accessible Intelligence, where I speak with 3 other young professionals who are all great friends of mine as we figure out this AI thing together. And because of how I create these conversations in my Notion pages and databases, and now with Notion Agent as well, it's clear that to this day, Notion still remains a key tool and part of my content creation. Here's the unique thing about Notion: it's not going to fix all of your problems. You're the one that fixes your problems. It's not devoid of bugs, but we do have the best engineering and product teams to deal with them. But it does cultivate one of the most diverse and creative power user groups of any SaaS product. We have people running their entire businesses on Notion. We have people who use Notion for their creative endeavors. We have people who use Notion for their work in New York's Fashion Week. We have people who use Notion to track their dreams, their literal dreams, the morning after they've had them. The list goes on and on. A few years ago, the Notion Ambassador Program began cementing this unique connection between power users. It established better connections both among ambassadors and with the company itself. Now, the Ambassador Program is several hundred members strong, representing nations from across the world. Having been lucky enough to be in the program myself, I can tell you that it's one of the most proactive and kindest communities out there. Because of my content, I was lucky enough to join the Notion Ambassador Program at the beginning of January. This past year, I've been building the Notion DC community from essentially nothing. We started small, as all good communities do, with in person coffee shop meetups. There, I was able to test the waters. What did people like about Notion? What did they not like about Notion? What were they confused about? My opinion, you learn way more about how users feel in a 5-minute in person conversation than a 30-minute call. And each meetup felt like an entire semester's worth of learning about what people enjoyed, somewhat enjoyed, and definitely did not enjoy about their own Notion usage. What's nice about building a tech company or tech community, definitely not building a tech company right now. What's nice about building a tech community in DC is that there are already thriving ones. We have communities like the AI Collective, Data Community DC, the Generative Series, DC Startup and Tech Week, and more. Naturally, the next phase of building was to integrate the Notion DC community into these established groups. I started hosting Notion Mail events in late spring and early summer with these groups, and culminated with DC's first ever Make with Notion recap event, where we had a healthy mix of education and Notion swag, basically tote bags. At the time of writing, I'm proud to say we routinely have 50 to 100 attendees for our Notion DC events, and I've had over 600 clicks for a free trial of Notion AI for startups and small and medium businesses through these events. Not bad for a community that did not exist until March. In late August, I got a message from the Notion team asking if I would be interested in applying to be the new community manager for the Notion ambassadors. The position was based in New York and would focus on building the next phase of the Notion community. Also could be referred to as Community 2.0. I felt a lot of things, most of all excitement that I could get to work for a company whose product has helped drive so much of my creative endeavors over the past 5+ years, and also a sense of possibility about what an even more robust Notion community could look like. A few interviews later, I got the job. For more details here, we can find the time to talk about it. At heart, I'm a creator. And for the past 5 years, Notion has helped fuel that creativity. But what I've realized is that I truly create best when I'm in a community. And right now, there's no other community that I want to be part of more than the Notion ambassadors. So, what happens now? What's exciting about the Notion community is that there is still so much to do. Has the community achieved an insane amount of value in the past couple of years? For sure. Can we achieve an even more insane amount of value in the next year and beyond? Absolutely. For this Substack, we'll be reverting to non tech content after the last two accessible intelligence episodes with my co hosts Hillary, Austin, and Megan, and more of the informal life conversations that embody more of the early days of the podcast, where it was just me and my friends, and now there will be both old and new friends. On a more granular level, that means there is no official affiliation between this Substack and Notion. This Substack, Mindful Notions, represents my opinions only. If you've been here since my first unlisted vlogs more than 5 years ago, thank you so much for your support. If you're meeting me for the first time in my new role as Notion's community manager for the ambassadors, I'm so eager to see how I can help you make your work better. Let's go, guys. It's only onwards and upwards, as I love to say. I'm realizing now that my phone is covering the end recording button, so there will be a bit of a lag as I figure out how to end this recording smoothly. But I hope to see you soon. Take care.